Let's Talk R&R with Tony and Lisa. Today's podcast, 2020 gave me 2020. Let's go to the throne. So today's podcast is going to be a little different. Coming up on the end of 2020. Mm-hmm. It's been quite a year to say the least. Some horrible things happened, but some great things happened as well.
Right.
There's been a lot of growth, not only with us individually, but within our marriage as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we just want to spend a little time talking about what we've learned from 2020 about not only us, but just the relationship with Jesus as a whole, and how Jesus operates and how we've seen Jesus operate within everything that's going on.
Right. And even in the loss.
Even in the losses of 2020.
Right.
Which started out in January with the crazy loss of Kobe and his daughter. Right. I think that just kind of started off 2020 on a negative downslope, and it seemed to have just gotten worse and worse and worse.
Right.
All the way up to the other day, the loss of Ecstasy and from Houdini, and the loss of Debo himself. Just so many, Chadwick, just young people that God called home this year. And then on top of all that, the pandemic that just took out 200 and something thousand people.
Right, 300 and counting.
And counting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now a new strand.
Right.
Has reared its head. And so as we look back on 2020, we're going in, well, I'll speak for me first, and then you can speak, of course, for you. We're going in with a sense of gratitude, even in the midst of everything that's going on, because one, even in my personal loss with the loss of my stepmom in October, still in a state of gratitude because I am still here.
Yeah.
I've worked the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten sick.
Right.
Thank God for that. You haven't gotten sick. The children haven't gotten sick.
Right.
Our parents haven't gotten sick. So the inner circle, if you will, was intact. And God blessed us to be that way.
Right.
Within everything that's going on. So one of the things that I learned about 2020, or learned in 2020, I should say, not about 2020, everything that we held in such high regard meant absolutely nothing.
Come on now. Yes. Money.
Title, status.
Race. Gender.
Social class.
Right.
Economic class.
Political stance.
None of it mattered.
Right.
When it came to this virus.
Right.
This virus was not discriminatory at all.
Right.
And just spending time with Jesus and deepening my relationship with him, he revealed to me that there's a cleansing going on. Mm-hmm. There's a pruning of the tree, if you will. There's a roughing up of the diamond, of the coal, the process that the diamond has to go through before it's the shiny element that everyone wants and loves.
Right.
I think in 2020, God was trying to get our attention.
Right.
I liken it to, not on that same level, but Sodom and Gomorrah. Mm. They were running wild. And he was like, you know what? That's it.
Enough.
I've
allowed you to run amok long enough.
Yeah. And when I look at this world and everything that was going on, the hatred,
the selfishness. Right, absolutely.
Everything was just like, he was just like, you know what? That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough,
Yes, because I've given you chance after chance to turn to me.
Yeah.
I've given you, unfortunately, other circumstances and situations that would push you towards Christ. And what happened in those situations was we did turn to him temporarily. Yeah. And then when things got back to quote unquote normal, we went back to all about me and what I can do. So I understand.
It's funny when you look at all the tragedies that's happened. It seems that that's the pattern.
Right.
Something happens bad, we're shocked by it, we're appalled, we're like, oh my God, we need to change, we need to love each other, and
Right.
how short life is, and oh my gosh,
right.
And then a month and a half later, we back to hating each other, and
right.
cussing people out, and it's just it's weird.
Right.
It's weird. And even in the midst of everything that's going on now, you still have people that just don't get it.
Right.
They just don't get it.
But he said that. He said, even at the end of days, there will be those that don't get it.
He did say that.
He did say that. So we should not be surprised, because it's written that there'd be people that just would not get it.
Yeah. What did 2020 teach you, if anything?
Wow, as you indicated before, all these things that we thought would save us in times of tragedy didn't. All the money didn't bring on the cure. And the doctors that we turned to fix things, they were unable. Everything that we leaned on and relied on that was not God was not able to help us.
Yeah.
We had lost by way of, my job.
Right.
I lost my job.
Right.
But had I not lost my job, I wouldn't have my relationship with him, because it was in that loss of job and title and office and money that I kind of sat at the table, and he's looking at me like, so what are we going to do now? Because I've taken away everything that you placed before me. Yeah, yeah. And I understand it, because other times that he was knocking on the door that I heard him clearly, I chose to ignore him. Yeah. So in 2020, I found God. So I'm grateful, because it allows me to look at 6 inches of water as 6 inches of water. Without God, I see 6 feet of water.
Right.
So 2020 gave me my family. We found God together. We have a relationship together, and then I have my own relationship. 2020, I believe, brought us closer.
Yes. 2020
showed me that I could be in love with God, because I did not think that was humanly possible inside of me. I didn't think any of that dwelled in me.
Right.
I didn't think that Lisa would do any type of ministry. When you are sharing God with anyone, that is ministry.
Yes.
So you don't have to be on a pulpit for it to be ministry.
Right.
And I would tell anyone, nope, that is not me. That is not going to happen. I will not share God. I will not say it. Hey, do you love? That's not me. But 20.
Do you love cookies? Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. All kinds of cookies. So 2020 showed me that part of me. 2020 helped me to see me the way God saw me, which I thought was an amazing thing. We tend to look at ourselves through our own eyes and not through God's eyes.
Yeah. And even in the midst of that, the loss for your job, he said, you know what, I'm going to remove everything that you put before me. I'm going to work on you, if you will.
Yeah.
But I'm going to allow your husband to see me working on you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have him continue to work, because I know it's needed. In that, he'll see me working on you. And then he will be drawn closer to me as well because of it. And I truly believe that's what happened. Me seeing how he was working in your life. Again, I had my own relationship with him, but after seeing that and seeing how he kept us, even with the loss of income,
yes,
that just made me want to know him more. And then to see the trajectory that he put you on, the path that he put you on, I was like, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So, because again, this podcast was supposed to be just you in the beginning.
Right.
So I'm thankful to God for that, and for allowing me to see him work.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows us. He knows, okay, you the show me type guy.
Right. Right.
I can't just tell you. I got to show you.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Right.
It's your upbringing. It's your background.
Right.
It's your military thing. You have to see it. So watch me.
Right.
Watch what I do.
Right.
You know, and when you see him move, and you know it's him, and you know that you know it's him.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, you're right. We definitely got closer in 2020.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? It's interesting you say he does know us, because he knew in order for me to really look at him, to really listen, he had to remove all of that.
Right.
There was no other way around it. I mean, I would hear him every now and again, but I'm too busy, God. I have something to do. I have to go to work right now. I can't really spend time. I'm tired by the time I get home, Lord. Okay, no problem, Lisa. So now we're going to remove everything.
And it's funny, I remember you saying that, you know, all right, Lord, if you don't want me to go back to corporate America, you got to burn the building down.
Company is gone.
Company's gone.
What? Like,
the building didn't burn down, but the company
is gone. Right.
So
be careful for what you ask.
Yes, indeed.
Because you may just get it. But I'm grateful. I am grateful because he's not finished with me yet.
Right.
I'm grateful because clearly there's something he wants me to do, and where he needed to take me, those things couldn't come. And I'm humble right now. And it's not just what I've done. Corporate America tends to do that to you. What you've done. Make it about you. And it was about me.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror now and I'm overjoyed at what I see in the most humble way. You know, I'm overjoyed at the Jesus I see in me, and I like the way he looks on me. I like it.
Yeah, it's in the very human sense, it's a shame that it took everything that happened in 2020 to set us on this path, but that's how God operates. He uses whatever means necessary to bring his people to him, his children to him.
Right. But think about it. That is love. That is patience. That is compassion. Because what do they say? When she stops fighting with you, now you should be alarmed, because then the relationship is over. So if God is still fighting to get our attention, then there's still hope.
Thank you.
Because, you know, the beautiful thing about God, he made it apparent that he doesn't go on your patterns, but your potential.
Yes.
His disciples were chosen on their potential.
Right.
So as messed up as I was, clearly he saw something in me, and he knew my potential.
And we just have to remember, and with everything that went on in 2020, stuff that we want to forget. I have to shout out Stephen Vertek in the one video that we watched of him when he talked about don't bury your blessings with the things that you want to bury, you know.
Right.
The failures of 2020. Don't bury your blessings with that. So yeah, you want to forget about all the bad stuff, but you have to look at the blessings that came from the bad stuff. You know,
yeah.
And I think that's what's going to carry us into 2021 is realizing how God moved in our life in the midst of everything that was going on.
Right.
In the midst of the pandemic and all the people that were lost and the election and everything, the senseless killings and
everything.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, my prayer is that we do not go back to quote unquote normal, but go to better.
Go to better.
Because our normal was not good. It just wasn't.
It wasn't working.
It
Clearly
was not.
It wasn't working.
Right. There were so many disconnects. And hiding behind this and making it seem like you're happy and you're joyful and there was some sort of void being filled with these things that meant nothing. And those things didn't save us.
No.
During 2020 that we were clinging to.
Right.
So my prayer is that we go to better. We don't lose the humanity. We don't lose the desire to reach out and connect with one another. Yeah, my prayer is that we just get better. We get better and we remember these times that we got to see one another and break bread together and reach out with intention, not just in passing.
Right. Be thoughtful in every conversation that you have, with someone. Because now more than ever, 2020 has shown us that it could be the very last conversation.
It could be the very, yes. But also, you know what? I realize now the true meaning to God gets all the glory. Because
Yes.
even our reliance on government,
Come on now.
you know, and Social Security and unemployment and this, that, and the other fell short.
Yeah.
But the only one consistent was God himself.
Yeah.
He didn't change. And he's the only thing that sustained us.
Absolutely.
So when the government finally comes through, quote unquote, understand that's a vessel that God is utilizing to bless us.
Right.
That's it. A vessel. Anybody that blesses us in any way, whether it's monetarily or physically or whatever, vessels. But God gets all the glory. If I have learned nothing, I have learned to give God thanks and praise for everything, every move, every call. Thank you, God, for placing me on that person's heart to reach out to me and check on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I will always thank that person,
Of course.
but I have to realize that God planted that seed, especially when somebody says, something told me to.
Right. Right. That's when you know.
But I mean, realistically, when someone's placed on your heart, you don't know what prayer they're putting out there. God, just let me know you hear me. And God says, go on and call Lisa real quick, because she needs to know I hear her.
And that's important for everyone to hear. When it's placed on your heart like that, you need to move. Be obedient, because, again, you don't know, one, the blessing that you would be for that person, or two, you don't know how God is going to bless you for being obedient and doing what he put on your heart to do. You know,
Right.
so I know a lot of people probably have that feeling of, oh, I need to call so-and-so. And then they don't,
Yeah.
Not every time something bad happens, but that's a missed opportunity to, one, be obedient to God, and two, be a blessing to whomever God put on your heart to reach out to. You
Right.
know? So again, you don't know. It could be as drastic as that person is on their last,
Right.
sense of reality and think that
This is
nothing-
it. I
nothing
can't,
else-
right.
yeah,
I have nothing else to live
go
for.
on.
Right.
And your voice is the one that brings them back.
But also, here's
know?
here's another thought. Sometimes someone's placed on your heart. You call them and they have something for
For
you.
Yes, yes.
I've left phone calls saying, I thought I was supposed to call you for you, and I didn't realize that I needed something in this call. But, again, God knows what's around the corner. And just because he didn't tell you doesn't mean it's not there. We just have to be obedient.
That used to happen to me with my cousin all the time. I would reach out and he would just pour into me, and then we'd talk later and he'd be like, I said, what? I'm like, yo, you don't remember telling me that? He's like, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But he just poured into me. I mean, God used him. What a wonderful man of God he is. And then he used him to just pour into me when I was at one of the lowest spots in my life. I don't even know if he realized where I was, but he
Right.
was just loving on me, just pouring into me, so, and I always thank God for him, because I always look back, when, being unemployed or whatever, and you never miss a meal, you never spend a day on the street,
Right.
that's God.
That is God.
That ain't nobody but God.
Absolutely.
Because there are people that are going to work every day and don't have a home to live in.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So, when God keeps you like that, you have to recognize it.
You have
and
to.
you have to give him thanks and praise and glory, for what he's done in your life.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself in 2020?
Wow. What have I learned about myself? I think the biggest thing I learned about myself is the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was in me. I didn't know that's something God would have me to do. I didn't realize the things that I was doing, like breathing, would play such a huge part of my purpose. I didn't know how much I didn't know God.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much my life depended on this relationship. I didn't realize how far down the rabbit hole I had gone Let me tell you, babe, on the outside, I was looking good.
Had it going on.
But on the inside,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Turmoil.
Empty. Mm-hmm. No nonsense. Empty calories.
Yeah.
Just gifts and blessings and talents just sitting collecting dust. God giving me things to utilize for the kingdom, and I just put them off to the side.
Yeah.
Just in my mind, I was being selfless in the things I was doing, and I was being so selfish because it was about me, my accolades. I'm going to do this so they could thank me and give me the praise. So I learned some serious stuff about me, but I also learned how to forgive me. I didn't turn to self-loathing. So God taught me forgiveness. I didn't realize how much I didn't forgive of myself until 2020, when it was just me and him at that table.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how beautiful and green grass really was till we all stayed inside, and then we got to go back out.
And you still hate grass and dirt, but it's okay.
I still do.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm so grateful for everything that I am learning about me, because the me that I'm learning now is the me that rose with him 3 days later. All I knew was the one that was buried with him, the one that was stinking and rocking with the other one.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you fully submit. You become the person that rose with him.
That's right.
On that third day.
Yeah.
He couldn't reside in that old person.
No.
You have to be resurrected as well for the Holy Spirit to reside inside you. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's good stuff.
What did you learn about you that you didn't know?
You know what? A lot of the same as far as talents. I learned that I had been searching for my purpose, but it was always there.
Come on now.
I just didn't see it. Or maybe I didn't want to see it.
And I was going to ask you that.
It's funny when you ask him, you keep asking him, Lord, show me my purpose. So he finally says, well, why don't you just open your eyes?
Right. Was it that you didn't like the purpose that you saw?
I think I was more scared of the purpose that I saw. Wondering, one, was I worthy of that purpose? Was I worthy to do that? Could I do it? Would I fail? I learned about myself that if I put him first in all that I do, I can't fail. So that's one of the things that I learned about myself. And then two, just like I said in the Bible study the other day, just remember who I'm working for in all that I do. And, don't be disappointed by lack of recognition of man. Just continue to work and realize who I'm working for. And as long as I continue to give him the glory, he will glorify me. He will lift me up. He will edify me. So yeah, that's one of the main lessons that I was taught this year. Just remember who you're working for. Don't worry about all that human stuff. And the scripture that we talked about earlier, where he says, if you are not of this world, why do you continue to be bound by worldly things?
Come on now.
And attaboys and pats on the back and all that, those are worldly things. So why are you seeking those when the true glory is me?
Yes. But also, you know what? I used to believe that well done, my good and faithful servant only came after I ended up in the kingdom. But he says that now.
Yeah.
He says that now. So we get the recognition and the accolades now. We don't have to wait till we transition over And I used to always feel like, gosh, I'm not gonna get that until, I get home.
Well, again, especially in the black church, we had this mentality that, okay, we just survive here.
Right.
We just hold on a little longer.
Right.
Joy come in the morning.
Right.
It'll be fine by and by, and all that. And basically, you just exist here and you do what you need to do, but your blessings and your gold and your trinkets and all that and riches is on the other side. Right. And I'm like, I don't want to wait to the other side. Right. I want my gifts now. Right. I want my riches now. God, come on,
Right.
But he didn't put his people here to be, for lack of a better word, broke.
Well, he showed that, though. I mean, look at Job. He gave Job that and more after the suffering.
And more.
There are so many that he blessed with abundance. I don't believe he did it then and said, well, look, those things will happen then. They're not going to happen now. I don't believe that.
I don't think Jesus was the trade-off for that. Like, I gave you Jesus, now that's it.
Listen, you get nothing else.
You're on your own till he comes back.
Right.
So
right.
So so when you talk about prosperity and building wealth for your family here on earth, again we talk about religion. Religion looks down on that at times.
Yeah.
At times,
Yeah.
And I think that turns a lot of people off from even having that relationship. Again, like we talked about with Imani. One of the barriers of people having a relationship, because they're like, what? I want to be rich. I want to take care of my family. I want to change the financial landscape of my family, of my next generation.
Right.
But religion says, oh well, and everyone gets that quote so wrong. Oh, the love of money, money is the root of all evil.
Well, I always thought it was the love of whatever you put before God was the root of.
That's what I thought.
That's the root of your evil. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're rich and God remains at the forefront, then that's not being frowned upon. But if you're rich and all you worship is your money, then of course God is going to look at you like, what are you doing?
Right.
I'm a jealous God. Whether it's money, whether it's food, whether it's men or women, whether it's work, anything that you place before him is problematic.
Right.
So you could be a poor person and worship video games, and that's problematic. So
absolutely. And then I have to look at it like, okay, so he knows we're in this world but not of the world. But in this world, money is important.
Necessary. We have to pay for rent. We have to eat.
And money blesses others. So
Right. We are modern day John the Baptist. So we are not walking around with camel hair clothes and living in caves. We are modern day John the Baptist. Well, we should be John the Baptist modern day. We should be telling people and paving the way for the second coming.
Right.
But
So
yeah. 2020. Oof. Wow. It took a lot, but it gave a lot. And as I said in my Instagram post, it gave me 2020 vision.
Yep, 2020 gave
because
me 2020.
I can see some things.
Yes. And we thank God for that.
Yeah. We are grateful for another day. You know me. Defining moments are not New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. We have things that happen. Defining moments is not the day that you get married. It's the days thereafter that define if you're a husband and a wife.
Right.
Defining moments are not the day that you give birth. It's the days after. Are you going to be a mother or a father? So what are we going to do from this point on? 2020 will mean whatever you do from this point on. Will you put your head in the sand? Will you learn and grow and be better? Mm-hmm. Will you sit and, this is horrible, woe is me, this is not going to get better. I can't feel God, I can't see you, God, I'm not even going to talk to God. What's going to happen? What are you going to do from this point on? Mm-hmm. Everything comes with a lesson. Everything. Whether we want to face it or not, whether we realize what the lesson is right now or not. But what are we going to do from this point on? And only each of us individually know what that answer is.
Right. That's a personal.
Right.
It's a personal question and a personal answer. That you have to be, 100% honest with yourself.
100% honest with yourself.
Because God already knows. You know what I'm saying? So you're not deceiving Him in any way.
And here's the thing: if you really are honest with yourself, you probably know what you're supposed to do.
You already do, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
a lot of times we just don't. We're not ready.
We
think we're not ready. We don't feel like it.
Yeah, just rest in knowing that anything that God calls you to do, He's already equipped you to do it. He's already equipped you for success. He's not going to have you do something where you're not ready to do it or you can't do it. So.
Yeah, He definitely won't set us up for failure.
Absolutely. So
we close out this wonderful year, this interesting year that was unlike any other year I've ever experienced. Saying, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We definitely want to acknowledge all of the souls that were lost, and for everyone, who's feeling pain or is in mourning. We definitely want to acknowledge everyone, because I feel like even if you haven't had a direct loss, you've lost something.
Right.
Whether it's a sense of security, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, we've all lost something, but we've also all gained something, I believe.
In some cases, it's hope for some people.
Right. For some people, it's hope.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know for me, it's big to know that I'm not standing, as crazy as it sounds, in my hopelessness alone.
Yeah.
It's important to know that whatever you're feeling, I promise you somebody else is probably feeling it as well. You're not alone. You're not alone. And more than likely someone has felt it and is still standing. So you too will continue to stand.
Yeah, absolutely. So we say goodbye to 2020.
Yeah, long.
We say hello to 2021.
Yes. As we walk out the door, we are walking into something else.
Something greater.
Absolutely.
So, there you have it. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Day.
This is... No, I don't. I'm not going to sing.
No.
I'm not going to sing. All right. Love and blessings, people. Love and blessings. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk R&R with Tony and Lisa. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk R&R, where we welcome your feedback.